Nginibingelela bazalwane egama laJesu Kristu. Amen. It's my first time to do a video, and especially in a case like this because I'm not receiving any feedback, but with the assumption that ngiyabonakala and nani niyangizwa. But before siqale ngizocela ukuthi sivale namehlo ngomkhuleko. Baba Jehova Nkosi siyakubonga, siyakumema futhi ukuthi ube nathi. Nkosi kube wena Jehova ohlala ngaphakathi enhlizweni zethu. Nkosi ukhulumisane nathi. Kube wena Jehova lawula imizwa yethu. Usize Jehova uqonda kwethu. Ukhulume Jehova lokho okudlula lokho engahle kukhulunywe yimina. Siyacela ke Jehova ukuthi konke Nkosi okwenzakalayo akube wena Jehova umlawuli wempilo zethu. Amen. I won't take much of your time. Ngizocela nje sithathe amabhayibheli ethu and we will look at a very short text which is found in the famous book and well-known book of Habakkuk 3. Ngizofunda uverse 17, but without giving great emphasis on the context of the verse and also the background of it, but with a greater emphasis in looking at the words which were said by Habakkuk in these difficult times. It's a very known verse. Though the fig tree does not bud, and there are no grapes in the vines, though the olive crops fail, and the fields produce no food, though there is no sheep in the pen, and no cattle in the stall, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in God my Savior. Amen. Growing up, khumbula kahle, I grew up ngilalela No Limit, and some of the times I didn't even understand the words. Ayiculwa ingoma ezayiculwa No Limit. But as I grew up, I would find myself singing these songs and ngiyibuza ukuthi, what did this song mean? There's a song eyayiculwa No Limit engangiyithanda, but it is only now where I fell in love with the words or the meaning of the words which I found it in the song. The song goes like, season for everything, season for everything. It says, you may cry, you may moan, you may be sad, but don't despair, for joy comes in the morning. Seasons for everything, seasons for everything. You may cry, you may moan, you may be sad, but don't despair. Now, to despair, it is a state of hopelessness. To despair, ilapho usulahlekelwe khona ithemba. Ungasazi uzohlanganisa ini nani, ungasaboni ngaphambili, and phezu kokungasaboni ngaphambili, ungasazi nokuthi why bengila emhlabeni. Now the devil is very famous on bringing such situations to our lives, whereby we conclude by despairing. We look at izimo esibhekana nazo and we declare them as hopeless cases. Things that happen to us, or things that we experience, or things that we hear, kubanye abantu zibehlele, they make us to come to a point where we're in the state of despair. But I like the words of this song. It says, you may cry, you may moan, you may even be sad in the process. But there's one thing which from your side you mustn't do. You must not despair. In other words, you must not be in the state of hopelessness. Now, maybe something which interests me about this song is that when I have to link the reason behind us not despairing, to what Habakkuk says in Habakkuk 3 verse 17. He says, though the fig trees do not bud, and there is no grapes in the vine, though the olive crops fail, and the field produces no food, though there is no sheep in the pen, and no cattle in the stall, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. In other words, all these things uHabakuk akhuluma ngazo, ukhuluma ngezinto ezisustaina impilo yomuntu, which is food, provision, and also for him izinto ezimsustainayo as a human being. Now uthi uHabakuk ke, even lezo zinto lezo ezisustain impilo yami seems ukuthi zingabi bikho, I will not be in the state of despair for this one reason, that I find my joy in God. You may cry, you may moan, you may weep, but don't despair, for joy comes in the morning. Now, what is very interesting about this song is that the first line of the song seems to be the answer to the question of why you shouldn't despair. Because it starts with the thought that there is a season for everything, which simply means each and every phase which you may face, which might be troubling you in your life, you just have to remember that there is no need for me to despair, because this is just a season. Now, uma masikhala ngamakhaza ebusika, asikhali ngamakhaza in despair, because we know that the season of summer will surely come. Asikhali ngokushisa ehlobo, sithi masikhala ngokushisa ehlobo sazi ukuthi no, this is just a season. In other words, we find meaning in our suffering when we understand and when we enjoy our suffering. We are not asilahlekelwa ubuthina in the suffering, because there's something that is of esiunderstandayo ngalobo buhlungu noma ngalo discomfort esuke sibhekene nayo. So Habakkuk uthi, even though all those things which seek to sustain life, I will not be in the state of despair, for I know it is just a season. And season for everything. Seasons, that zonke izinto zinesikhathi sayo. In other words, what I'm trying to say, to conclude everything, while I'm rushing to my close, angazi ukuthi ubhekene nani, angikwazi ukuthi kubuhlungu kuphi, but inakho ngifuna ukukutshela khona, even that pain or that disappointment, that too shall pass. Remember, asikho isimo esibuhlungu esipermanent, while there is a loving God who cares about you. Even though izinto esibeka amathemba ethu kuzo zishabalalele, even though abantu esibathembile besibetray, even though ama-lockdown asenza ukuthi singakwazi ukuproduce ama-profits esiwafunayo, even though singakwazi ukuyiguqulela iy'mpilo zethu, let us not be comfortable in the state of losing hope. Let us not be comfortable in losing ithemba. Let us rejoice in the Lord and confuse the devil. Amen.